Spilled is a cozy ocean cleanup game built in OpenGL by Dutch game developer Lenta. Not only is she tackling building this game from the ground up without a game engine, she also really lives on a boat, which serves as one of the major inspirations for this game. Spilled started as a class project where she had to make a small 3D game in the open source API known as OpenGL. If you don't think you've heard of any games that have been made in part with that API, you're probably wrong. Half-Life 2, Balatro, and a cute adventure game called A Short Hike all used OpenGL to reach a final product. And that's just to name 3 of the hundreds of games that were made with it. Using OpenGL as a tool is pretty common, but don't get it twisted. Making a game with OpenGL is not an easy thing to do. According to Lenta, even something as simple as this triangle took a whole bunch of code, and that's not even 3D yet. Adding perspective, dynamic visuals, natural feeling movement, and all the other crucial aspects of this game took a lot of effort. So much effort that Lenta decided to stop doing school and use all of her savings to buy her boat so that she could focus on Spilled full time. That's just really inspirational to me. I feel like I have negative experience when it comes to video game development, especially when you have to do it this way. So if you want to learn more about her journey, I'll have her channel linked down below. Now, I want to talk about Spilled. Originally, Lenta talked about how this game might be more of a boat upgrading combat game where you go around defeating and collecting other boats to make yourself stronger. She obviously sailed in a different direction and decided that we should save the environment instead. I think that's a very noble choice. The first thing you see when you launch the demo is a little screen telling you all about Lenta and her game, and it's really nice. She has some pictures of her boat cycling through too to show that she really truly does live on it. Not that she needed to prove it or anything, but that added layer of trust is really good. Anyway, moving on. The demo isn't very long. I clocked about 20 minutes in the first 3 biomes of the game, and to that point, the game itself isn't super long either, with just about 1 hour of unique playtime in your first run. That's okay though. The appeal for this game, besides being the cutest thing in the world and is incredibly inspired, is that the ambiance makes it a fun game to replay when you just want to chill. I think one of the biggest draws for playing indie games is that you get the chance to play something visually and creatively unique, and I think Spilled has carved out that space for itself in a lot of ways. One of the most captivating parts of the demo for me was the soundtrack. It's just beautiful. Layer in the other aspects of the sound design, like the whooshing of your boat going through water and the sucking sound of you picking up oil, and you have an auditory experience that is so simple but so immersive. It creates the perfect vibe for you to chug along and collect all the oil and trash that litters the beautiful scenery of this game. Speaking of, the design is perfect to tie the vibe together. The pixelation is cute and easy to look at, but it's also really detailed, something that I'm sure was a painstaking process based on my new but very limited knowledge of OpenGL. There's a frog, an alligator, a duck, and 13 other critters that you get to go around and save. The other parts of nature aren't too shabby either. The underwater life is pretty vibrant and adds a little bit of visual depth to the game that maybe wasn't necessary, but it is 100% beneficial. Of course, each biome is bogged down by all the pollution, but as you clean up more and more, the water gets cleaner and cleaner. To me, that's a small detail, but it's really, really beautiful, and it shows the incredible dedication that Lenta had to creating the best version of her vision for Spilled. The above water environment is visually incredible too. The windmills, trees, buildings, and grass are just wow. If I had to pick my favorite element of the landscape, it would have to be these little cubed hedges or trees or whatever. They stick out so well compared to the rest of the environment, and I would love a little figure to put on my desk. They're just that cute. The tips and instructions are stylized really well too, making it really easy to understand what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. The mechanics in the game are fun to use, even though they're relatively simple. Of course, you sail around collecting oil, but you also get to spray oil off the hillsides and collect trash for extra coins. And those are all just in the demo, so who's to say there isn't more to do in the full game? If I was making a wish list for things I wanted to see in the game, whether it's DLC or updates or whatever, it would go something like this. I'd love little characters that we could chat or interact with in some way, just so we can bring a little more life to the world. I'm a writer for my full-time job, and I fully volunteer my skills if this is even a remote possibility, and I wouldn't do this for just any game. I'd love some more locations or an endless mode that lets you just keep getting more and more upgrades for a lot longer than the main game. Of course, I know the effort to make this game is very involved, but this is a wish list after all. My last ask might already be a thing, but I would love some boat customization, like custom colors, or maybe even choosing an animal from the ones you've already saved to sit on your boat. I think it would add an extra cuteness factor and make the game that much more personal. All in all, this game is looking like a must-have for people who enjoy games that are simple, cute, cozy, and fun, which should be everyone, in my opinion. Spilled is releasing March 26, 2025, and if it's already past that time when you're watching, just know that the ajoll talking to you right now is very jealous. I couldn't find a price listed anywhere except for on the Kickstarter campaign. Backers could pay €7 or $7.58 for my fellow Americans, and that would give them a copy of the game upon release. If the final price is around there, that seems like a perfectly reasonable number for a game with a great vibe and a pretty good amount of replayability. Plus 10% from every purchase is going to the whale and dolphin conservation, a pretty nice organization that's dedicated to protecting You guessed it, whales and dolphins. Linta is pretty open about her hope that this game will inspire other small devs, indie devs, and even big developers to create games that will inspire change in the world. Supporting Spilled and Linta means that you are supporting a developer that wants to do good for the world and the environment through her passion for creating games. And other developers, if you're watching this, there's definitely a demand for games like this. Let me run you the numbers. Linta met her fundraising goal of 10,000 euros in less than 12 hours and actually raised triple that. On Steam, she has over 14,000 people with Spilled in their wish list, and that's based on data that's who knows how old, so there's probably even more today. That means if everyone with Spilled in their wish list bought the game would gross almost 98,000 euros and raise 1,500 for the whale and dolphin conservation. That's a big impact. Speaking for myself, I love interacting with media that makes a difference without giving up the focus of being enjoyable to play or consume or watch or listen to or whatever. Don't be scared to use the mediums that you're passionate about creating within to try and create some change in the world. We could definitely use some more of it. Whether it's 10 minutes or 10 hours, make the things that you want to see in the world. There will be some players or viewers or readers or whatever out there waiting to find it. This is Linta's first published game, and I think it's going to be a hit for her, which makes me really, really happy. I do hope you look into it and consider grabbing it. You'd be helping out a first-time developer and helping change the world. That's a win-win for the ages. If you've got an indie game or small dev or team on your radar, please let me know about them. You can comment, you can join the Discord, you could send a carrier pigeon. I mean, really do whatever it takes to make sure I know about them so I can keep showcasing games that I don't think anyone should miss out on. As far as Spilled, I'll have my demo gameplay uploaded with no commentary so that you can get an ajoll-free look into all the coziness that the game provides. I'm probably going to go ahead and play through this game on stream when it drops, so subscribe to stick around for that and all the other indie games that I'm going to end up playing. As always, thank you for watching. I'm the little ajoll in your screen, and I will see you in the next video.